Yeah! They squabbling out there now. Yeah! Yeah! They squabbling out there now. Yeah!
Come again.
Yeah, boo this man every time we see him. Every time we see this motherfucker, boo him. Boo him every time we see him. Welcome to First Hit, First Down. We here in the morning because we're going to get this out of the way early. I know y'all see that little eagle pillow back there, but that's not for me. Trust me, it's for someone that I actually love and care about. And if you care about somebody enough, you will actually buy them some shit that you don't even like. But that's neither here nor there. We're going to keep booing this motherfucker right here. Matt Eberflus, boo this motherfucker, bro.
Boo this man!
Bro, Dallas literally has the worst defense in the entire NFL. I don't care if there's actually somebody or defenses that's ranked below them, but from the optics, allowing huge plays at the most inopportune times, never being in position, never calling the right play calls for the right situations. This defense as a whole, from the play caller to the players to the scheme, is fucking horrible. And we're going to talk about that shit. We're going to talk about that shit today, man, because offense is literally the best it's been in years. Dak is literally the best he's been ever. I mean, most consistent he's been ever. He looks really good out there. He's doing his motherfucking thing. And for some weird, odd reason that I don't understand. Excuse me. Matt Eberflus can't get this motherfucking defense right. Yo, we done gave up 30 points in damn near every game. Hell, we gave up 22 to the Jets. They just scored 11 the other day. We done gave up. We're averaging about giving up 32 points a game, yo. The offense is averaging about 30 points a game. You can't win no fucking games like that. Hold up, because I don't want y'all to think that it's over with. Boo this man.
Boo this man!
Boo this motherfucker, bro. And boo Brian Schottenheimer, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Will McClay, everybody that is allowing this motherfucker to keep his job. Boo them motherfuckers too, bro.
Boo this man!
They are literally fucking up an MVP season from Dak Prescott. They are fucking up a hell of an offensive performances by George Pickens. They're fucking up some great offensive game plans and schemes by Brian Schottenheimer by allowing this dickhead to continue to call plays and run this defense. This shit ain't working. Boo this man.
Boo this man!
Boo this man, bro. Like, what are we doing here? You know what? Before we go any further, let's get into today's agenda, man.
Today's agenda.
Today's agenda. I don't know why Pooh keeps saying thank you, come again, but today's agenda. We got the suitcase up in the Centra. Go to room 112, tell them Blanco sent you. If you know, you know. But you see what we got. Thoughts and reaction on the Cowboys and the Panthers. That bullshit. Who is the problem in Philadelphia? Is it the offensive coordinator? Is it the quarterback? Hell, is it the number one receiver? We're going to get into that too also. And is Kansas City back after we saw them handle business on Sunday night? I know a lot of people were asking and talking about the ref. the officiating. But this is the NFL. The Chiefs are the best team in the NFL. They're going to get a lot of calls that go their ways. We had to deal with this with the Patriots for years. I guess the Chiefs is just the next team up. But as you guys can see, that is our today's agenda. I will have the player of the week out later on today. Didn't get a chance to make that up. Offensive lineman stats of the week, we're going to have that out also. Didn't get a chance to make that up either, the graphic up. But I will tell you, the player of the week this week really has to go to nobody other than Rico Dowdle. He probably should have won it 2 weeks in a row. I mean, getting a total of 200 scrimmage yards in both games. One game he had 206 rushing yards, which was the game against the Dolphins. This past game against the Dallas Cowboys, I believe he had 189 rushing yards, about 60 receiving yards, and a tutty to get him over 200 scrimmage yards for the second week in a row. He's the first undrafted player in NFL history to have 2 weeks in a row of 200 plus scrimmage yards. So shout out to Rico Dowdle, former Cowboy. They were saying during the broadcast that, Dallas wanted to bring him back, but then they was doing the Michael Parsons contract negotiations, and they really didn't have them. Bullshit. If you wanted them, you would find a way to keep them, and y'all did for 5 years before then, so I don't see how it should be an issue now. You dig me? But we're gonna move on to these goddamn graphics and shit, because your boy is kind of upset. I'm not even in front. I'm kind of pissed off about how our defense played. And speaking of which, you see the offensive players up here that's highlighted. The guy Bryce Young and his receiver T-Mac Tortellini McCullen. I don't know how to say bro first name, but T-Mac and Bryce Young hooked up for a pair of touchdowns yesterday. Bryce Young only had 195 yards, but he had 3 passing touchdowns because our fucking defense is atrocious. Dak and George Pickens had a hell of a game together. George Pickens had 9 for 160, 170, some shit like that. Dak had over 250 yards passing. He probably would have had more, and we'll get to it, but he probably would have had more if it wasn't for that last drive. Had 3 passing touchdowns, looked pretty damn good on every drive except for that last drive. So let's get into it, y'all. Like, I ain't even gonna front, man. This is kind of demoralizing because we watched the Eagles get their ass beat by a worse team on Thursday night, and as a Cowboy fan, you should be proud to see that. You should be excited to see that because of the fact that this means that you got, you know what I'm saying, you can creep up in the standings in the NFC East. Boy, was I wrong. So here we go. 1 o'clock game Sunday, Dallas Cowboys at the Carolina Panthers. To be completely honest with you guys, I'm starting to think I should stop doing watch-alongs, because I feel like every time I do a watch-along, Dallas is in a fucking dogfight versus a bad team, CC the Giants, or they lose against bad team, CC the Carolina Panthers, Chicago Bears. When I don't do the watch-alongs, or, you know what I'm saying, we did do the watch-along for week 1 also, they did lose that game too. But when I don't do the watch-alongs, they go toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in the league in the Green Bay Packers. They blow the Jets out. Technically, I know the Jets, you know what I'm saying, made the score a little bit more respectable by the end, but they blow the Jets out. You know what I'm saying? The games that I actually miss, they go out there and perform, but the games that I watch live with you guys, they go out there and lay a fucking egg. So we're going to be sitting here thinking about, do we really want to keep doing these goddamn watch-alongs? You feel me? Y'all see I got my Nightmare on Elm Street shirt on today because we will be doing some 30 Days of Horror reactions also too. You guys make sure y'all stay on the lookout for that. But this game, man, Carolina came out and established exactly what the fuck they wanted to do from the very beginning, which was running that rock. Rico Dowdle, I mean, like, on some real shit, bro. I felt like it wasn't until like the 3rd quarter, maybe 4th quarter, that we actually tackled this man or hit this man at the line of scrimmage before he decided to keep going. He was averaging like 7 yards. He was averaging his first couple of carries. It was like 12 yards a pop before he even got touched. And I'm like, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right. Because why the fuck is he running the way he is running when we supposed to had fixed our run defense? Now, that's 2 weeks in a row now. I know a lot of people is going to turn a blind eye to the Jets game because Dallas won that game. But I'm not one of those people. I'm one of those people that noticed that, hey, y'all almost gave up 200 rushing yards in the Jets game. And Justin Fields didn't do too much running. That was really just Breece Hall. So I'm looking at that. And they come in and Rico Dowdle just went for 200 yards last week. So I'm thinking to myself, man, he ain't going to do that again. Most running backs don't go for 200 yards 2 weeks in a row. But I'm also not understanding how truly bad my defense is. I mean, I guess it shouldn't have took 6 weeks for us to realize that. Well, for me to realize that, but it did. You feel me? So, like that. Man, look, hold on. This shit's really bothering me. Because like I said, this is not for me. It's for my father, for real. He's an Eagle fan, right? So I don't want to, for one, I don't want to have him watching the show and he sees that now, you know what I'm saying, his presence is ruined or whatnot. And two, I don't want you guys getting no fucking ideas. You feel me? But back to what I was saying. So Rico came out, ran that motherfucking rock. Dallas was not getting no hands on him for the first 12 yards of his carry. You know what I'm saying? Maybe somebody from the secondary will come up and slow him down, and then people will rally and tackle. But the real issue was we couldn't stop no outside runs. We couldn't stop no zone runs. We couldn't stop no ISOs. We couldn't stop shit. Any type of way that they wanted to run that ball. Traps, duos, whatever they wanted to do on that offensive line, they fucking did that shit. We couldn't get pressure, and when we did get pressure, people couldn't get home. Right? So that's in the totality of the game, not just in the first quarter. So in the first quarter, Rico come out, he runs up and down the field on this. We keeping it, you know what I'm saying? We keeping it close. The game could have got out of hand for them if the defense made a stop or two, which we'll get to that also. We did get a tipped interception that Donovan Wilson got. Fuck Donovan Wilson. I refuse to give Donovan Wilson any credit when he does anything right. And I'm not really necessarily blaming him. Let me stop that. I'm not really blaming him, right? Because it's really Matt Eberflus. Why the fuck do you got Donovan Wilson in coverage? Like, what are we doing? Understand who you... I've been saying this shit for 6 weeks now. Understand your personnel, bro. Understand who you got and who you using. If you want somebody to go cover, you better go try one of these young niggas out there. Put Buddy Stewart out there. You already got Wanye out there. You better, motherfucker. Listen. Donovan Wilson is not a coverage safety by any means. I don't even want this motherfucker covering the flats. I don't want this motherfucker covering shit. I don't even want him spying the quarterback, bro. You just come downhill. That's what you do. But for some reason, Matt Eberflus want this motherfucker to be Air Reed, and he's not that at all. And it's crazy that we got to keep saying this shit for 6 weeks. And I saw in the press conference, I don't want to keep going jumping around, but shit just popping in my head. I don't have my notes. But I saw in the press conference, Brian Shanahan going to say, Schottenheimer, I keep calling that motherfucker Shanahan. Shotty going to say that, we got full faith in our play caller on defense, in our players. And I'm like, listen, one of them motherfuckers is you lying about. You lying about one of them motherfuckers, regardless if it's the coordinator or the players. But you lying about one of them motherfuckers, bro. You cannot have full confidence in one of those two things. You cannot. Just logically speaking, you cannot. So stop capping, bro. Stop the bullshit. For real. Because you be on. Come on now. So look. Get Matt Eberflus the fuck up out of here, bro. That's all I'm saying. Get Matt Eberflus. Because you can't fire everybody on the defense. You can't fire all the players. You can't, it's not going to be a switch or two. You can't, look, I see people, go get Trey Henderson, you know what I'm saying, try to see if Max Crosby or somebody else is available. Look, bro, that's dope. You'll get a pass rush. Trey Henderson is really good in the run also. He's not fixing that shit by himself. It's not just the defensive line not being able to get penetration. It's not just the defensive line not being able to get, you know what I'm saying, a pass rush going. It's not just the defensive line not standing in their rush lanes or having pass rush integrity. It's not just the defensive line lying with their eyes. As soon as something misdirection happen, they get all types of fucked up. Because that's also the linebacker in the secondary core that's doing a lot of these things too. But the secondary is allowing niggas to run butt ass naked open. I mean, like streaking, if you will. Wide ass open. Like they had a Diddy party. Like, come on, bro. Y'all can't be allowed when we paying Trayvon Diggs $91 million. You paying DaRon Bland $96 million to get beat. To get beat. I'm not here for that bullshit, bro. I am not here for that bullshit at all, yo. When I look at how this team is being, it's so funny. I said this shit when I was doing the goddamn watch along yesterday. That no matter what's been going on with Dallas, one thing has been true. You cannot have this whole team working in cohesion at the same time. It just doesn't fucking work for some reason, bro. Rather it be the offense that be struggling or being looking that look weird and the defense is balling, or the defense is struggling and the offense, you know what I'm saying, looking weird and the offense is balling, or both of them is struggling and the special teams is fucking carrying this. Like, we can't have three phases of football working cohesion. We can't have that shit work together for some reason. It's like we always got to be dependent at one side of the ball more than the other. We can't just be balanced at all. And that's fucking weird, bro. When Dallas had one of the best defenses in the league, we was taking the ball away, getting sacks at a consistent rate. Offense was looking real weird. Couldn't get the running game going. Couldn't find a wide receiver too. Had young tight ends or old tight ends, if you was talking about Jason Witten, because people tend to forget he played for like 20 years. But if you know what I'm saying, like, we just couldn't get this shit right, or we got this shit right and the coaching staff is fucking Jason Garrett. You get what I'm saying? We get this shit right and the coaching staff is Mike McCarthy. You get what I'm saying? Like, I like Schottenheimer. I really do. I like the way he's calling the games the first 6 weeks of the season. I think that his side of the ball, because he's an offensive-minded head coach, is flourishing and balling and doing their thing. But it's that other side of the ball that took a major fucking drop. And it's not only because you traded away your perennial Defensive Player of the Year candidate. I mean, that's a huge part of it. Let's say it's 75% of the reason why your defense is bad. But I still think that if we had Micah Parsons on our defense, that it would still be bad. Because a lot of the issues is, like, even if they get pressured, motherfuckers is wide ass open. So it don't even matter. Listen, Micah could get there, right? Mike could get there as quick as he could possibly get there. But if a motherfucker is wide ass open, it don't even matter, bro. I'm going to take this hit from Micah, and as long as he don't hit my arm, I'm going to deliver this ball somewhere in the area of homeboy that's wide ass open, because ain't nobody within 10 to fucking 12 yards of this man. So I'm going to just be able to keep doing what I'm doing regardless of who's at the pass rusher position. I don't know why Cowboy fans thought Jadeveon Clowney was going to be some type of savior, but this man looks old as shit. He don't even look like he want to be there. He look like he half-assing a lot of shit out there. Shout out to Kenny Clark. You didn't ask to be here. You just was collateral basically in this trade. Shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? You be out there trying to do what you're trying to do. But when people know that you're the guy that you got to stop, all right, well, let's just double team his ass and get him the fuck out the picture and run right past the, you know what I'm saying, the gap that we just double teamed this motherfucker. Ain't nobody gonna feel it. Ain't nobody gonna get off their block. Yo, I was so pissed off about nobody being able to get off their blocks. Just letting Rico run. I'm like, yo, Rico's behind you. Why are you still fighting the block? Disengage, motherfucker. If he's still holding you, then that's a holding call. But why are you still fighting the block? I saw that shit from Murray so many times yesterday, and our linebacker core, bro. And that's another thing. DeMarion Overshawn coming back, I can't wait. But he's not going to change too much. This defense is bad as a whole. It's not one player that's missing that's going to make this defense better. Or that much better. You feel me? Like, everybody thought, everybody thought earlier in the season when DaRon Bland wasn't there. Oh, when DaRon Bland get back, the DBs would be a lot, you know what I'm saying, a lot more stable. No. It's been just as bad, if not worse. Oh, when Trayvon Diggs get his legs up under him, he'll be, no. I don't know if he's gotten his legs or if he ever will get his legs back up under him, but he don't look nowhere near. He looked like a shell of himself if there ever was. look, listen, this performance by the defense was so fucking bad that you let's talk about that last drive with the offense. Offense got the ball back. We tied 27-27. Defense did manage to make a stop, so you got to give them that much. They managed to make a stop. They punted the ball back. Open a drive. Look, one thing I hate, right? One thing I hate. I think this is Schottenheimer fault more than anybody's, because I feel like he was trying to get Javonte Williams going in some way, shape, or form. So we couldn't get that running game going at all. Whereas though they was running all over us, we couldn't get that running game going at all. Ours, at least, right? But Dak was dicing these motherfuckers up. He was, you know what I'm saying? He was doing this thing. You dig me? And Shotty kept trying to like force that fucking run. I'm like, look, man, by this time, fourth quarter, tie game, abandon that shit, bro. You can still play action. They're going to believe that you're going to try to run it regardless. You can still use the play action, but abandon that shit, bro. Fuck all that running shit, right? So we get the ball back. This is our last drive. Well, I think it's probably like maybe 6 minutes to go, somewhere around that time, maybe 6 to 5 minutes to go, somewhere like that. Because they held the ball for a hell of a time, too, on their last drive. Let's talk about that, too. But Dallas came out, Dak dropped back, screen pass, Javonte Williams. I'm like, why? I hate throwing the ball behind the line of scrimmage to try to go forward. Like, if you want to go forward, throw the ball forward. Don't throw that bitch behind the line of scrimmage. But that's neither here nor there. So they throw on the screen, get blown up because they playing zone defense. They understand that let's keep everything in front of us. If you see the offensive lineman leak out and shit like that, everybody crash towards the side that they going. This is a screenplay. You know what I'm saying? Very next play. Now Brian Schottenheimer says in his press conference that the first play was a screenplay. The two plays following was just checkdowns. I don't like the fact that you lied to me, because it was three screenplays in a fucking row, bro. You're not gonna sit here and try to say that my eyes was lying. The way that they all was set up was blockers in front of them, the player that Dak was throwing it to. And one of them, I think it was Williams or Blue, that caught it. Y'all shouldn't have caught it. You should have just let that bitch be an incompletion, because that bitch caused y'all even more yardage. But like, the offensive line couldn't get out there fast enough to block. The defense knew that this play was coming. You caught like the same type of play 3 times in a row, and they're gonna say that they was checkdowns. Why is your check down behind the line of scrimmage? So you just run into the flats and just stand there, and the defense is like, but you got blockers in front of you. And the defense is like, oh yeah, this is a screen. Get the fuck out of my face, Shotty, with that bullshit, bro. All 3 of those plays were screens. And I think you panic, and I think on some real shit is that got to get some blame in this too, because you a vet and you good enough to be like, nah, yo, we're not doing this shit 3 times in a row. We're not gonna do this shit 2 times in a row. We just lost yards on the first one. We got to get something back. We're not gonna do another fucking screenplay. And let's say if it's not a screenplay, we need everything above the goddamn line of scrimmage at this point. At this point, once we lose yards on the first play, my check down got to be in front of the line of scrimmage. My check down got to be, you know what I'm saying, in the middle of the field, or got to be somewhere where I can see him, bang. My check down, I don't want my check down, I have to look all the way over, go through all my reads, come all the way to the end, and he's still right here, basically. But somehow he has blockers in front of him ready to go. That's how I refuse to believe that you talk about as a fucking check down. All those plays were screenplays. All those plays were screenplays. Fuck out my face with that, Brian. Fuck out my face with that, bro. And like I said, Dak, you deserve some credit, some blame in this shit too, because you too good not to be able to audible out them plays. And because I know we all know you can. That's one of the best parts of your games, is being able to audible in and out of different plays to put your teams in the right position. So you getting some of this blame too. That last drive from the offense was fucking horrendous after a tremendous offensive game by everybody involved, with it being the play callers and the players that executed it. But that last drive on the offensive end was fucking horrible, bro. And that's on you, Brian. That's on you, Shotty. You panicked. Now you got to bounce back and you got to get this dub against the Washington Football Wizards, man. So looking ahead to next week, Dallas will be playing against Washington. And bro, I ain't gonna front. depending on what happens on Monday Night Football tonight with Chicago at Washington, I think that Dallas is in for one of those long ass games if their defense don't get their fucking shit together. Like, I understand that it's Washington. I understand it's a divisional game. And I understand that they, quote unquote, little brothers, you know what I'm saying? Regardless if they went to the NFC Championship game or not last year, they haven't swept Dallas in years. So I understand all of that. But if your defense comes to play the way it came to play against the Carolina Panthers, y'all probably gonna get blown the fuck out. Because I think that Washington defensively wise is a little bit better than Carolina. I might be wrong. We have to see tonight. But I think they are a little bit better than Carolina defensively wise. So, and you know, another a former Cowboy coming back within Dan Quinn that always want to get revenge. He want to sweep the Cowboys. He don't want the Cowboys to beat him. You know what I'm saying? No more than they did last year when they split. So he wants, you know what I'm saying? He want to be able to sweep them. So next week is one of those games that really matters because it's not only a divisional game, but it's one of those games that you just got to win. You fucking 2-3-1 right now. Like, you got to get back to 500 for real. Man, we're going to get off the Cowboys for real because this shit is depressing and we got to get something that's going to lift our spirits, man. We got to talk about something that's going to lift our motherfucking spirits, boy. When goddamn Giants had whipped the goddamn Eagles' ass on Thursday Night Football, man. This was something amazing.
What?
I loved it.
What?
It was so much fun to see.
What?
You feel me? It was so much fun to see, boy. Everything that your boys said about Jalen Hurts came to fruition after a week of people sitting there trying to say I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. They tried to call me a casual. They tried to say I wasn't a football fan. I was just a Cowboy fan. I tell people this all the time. I'm a football fan first. I'm a Cowboy fan second. I can watch football if the Cowboys is not playing. Some of y'all can't watch football if your team not playing. You know what I'm saying? So, but let's talk about that game. Eagles came out a little bit sluggish. I think the Giants was up early on them. Then they had 2 drives in a row that it looked like, okay, the Eagles is back to being a team that everybody expect them to be, especially against the New York Giants. And then, like, right before the half, the Giants had scored. And the Eagles had a chance to go down there and get a field goal, you know what I'm saying, right before the half, I think, to tie it up. I think the score was like 20-17 or some shit like that before the half, right? So I think the Eagles had a chance to go down there to tie it up before the half. And the clock management between Sirianni and motherfucking Jalen Hurts was horrible. It was horrible. As a fan of a team that suffered from clock management issues, trust me, I know what it looked like when you having those issues and shit. So that shit was managed horribly. Jalen Hurts had like a late scramble, a late run and shit, and wasn't able to get up there fast enough to clock it to possibly get a field goal to tie it up. Come out the half, both teams was a little. I think the first couple of drives they both stalled out a little bit, and the Giants took off basically. And the score was 27-17 at this point, right? I think it was like maybe mid third quarter, early fourth quarter at this point, right? And the Eagles was driving pretty decent drive, pretty good drive. Got some penalties that allowed them to get down there, shit like that. But pretty decent drive. But on this drive, right, one of the main things on this drive that was happening, one of the key plays that they had was a quick out, right? And it doesn't matter, to the left side of the field. And it didn't matter who it was on that side of the field. Jalen Hurts was dropping back, looking left, throwing left every time. Like, he did that shit maybe 4 times, maybe even 5 times on that motherfucking drive, right? I think the 5th time, we're going to get to that. And on crucial third down, bang, hitting that. You know what I'm saying? You need the first down real quick. Bang, hitting that little out route. You know what I'm saying? We're going to send Devontae in motion, send him over to the left side of the field. He's going to run a little quick out. Bang, we're going to hit him again. You know what I'm saying? They was working that shit. They was working that shit all night, doing it in different variations. All that shit, working that shit. And the Giants, DBs, and defensive coordinator actually adjusted and saw some shit. Was like, hey, yo, y'all niggas realize that if he's dropped back and looking left, he's throwing left. Like, he's not looking left to move anything, the safety, or to fake anything. He's looking left and he's firing that bitch left every time. Like, so just pay attention to that. They're down there on like the 15-yard line. Jalen Hurts dropped back, look left, throw left. Number 22 from the New York Giants jumped that, and it was late and it was high. You know what I'm saying? It was high and behind the receiver and shit. And so that means that's just a disaster. You know what I'm saying? That's perfect recipe for a pick six. Number 22, grab that bitch and he takes off, and he takes the fuck off. Saquon Barkley got the chance to run as fast as he ever going to run this season, because it don't look like he's going to be able to break those big runs for some reason. And he was able to track homeboy down, because him and Jalen Hurts was both chasing him. But I think that if it wasn't for Saquon, he wasn't being caught type shit. So he was able to chase bro down. Jackson Dart was able to lead another drive down the field. I don't remember if it was Cam Scatterboo that topped this off with a touchdown, but it did end up getting a touchdown. Because Cam had 3 touchdowns in this game. You know what I'm saying? The Korean team Caucasians was balling. Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterboo, they both look like the quarterback from The Youngest Yard and Stone Cold and shit. That's what everybody got the meme going on around on motherfucking social media. But look, yo, the Eagles' defense is the real surprise to me. They was running all up and through their defense, bro. I understand people gonna be like, Jalen Carter wasn't in the game. Well, y'all can't keep using that shit as an excuse. There's teams out there that got 20 plus players on the injured list right now. My team being one of them, nigga, and you don't see nobody using that shit as a fucking excuse. The goddamn 49ers lost every piece of their puzzle except for Christian McCaffrey, the guy that you would expect to be injured. And ain't nobody bitching. They still out there doing what they gotta do. So we're not gonna have the Eagle fans, and we're not gonna allow Eagle fans to use a couple players missing. Oh, Quinyon Mitchell was out the rest of that game. He went out early in that game, was out the rest of the game. Jalen Carter was. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit, bro. None of that shit. This is the Giants. You don't let the Giants put up 34 and you put up 17. I know people like, oh, the Panthers put up 30 on y'all. Dallas got the worst fucking defense in the league. So are we saying that the Eagles is close? The Eagles defense is close to Dallas defense? Is that what y'all want to say? Because if that's what y'all want to say, then hell, I'm not going to stop you if you believe that shit. But I'm going to tell you this though. The Giants put up 40 on Dallas. No, the Giants put up 37 on Dallas. The 3 more points they put up on y'all. But we won that motherfucking game because we put up 40. Your offense put up 17 points in the first half, and that was it. I don't want to hear shit about the officiating. Only thing that y'all can get away with, and I'll let you get away with, is the offensive coordinator is trash. Offensive coordinator is horrible. I'll give you that. Offensive coordinator is garbage. I'll give you that. Boo that man.
Boo this man!
Boo that man. Trash. But ain't no way in hell I'm not going to tell y'all that Jalen Hurts is not even a top 10 quarterback right now. He barely in the top motherfucking 15. Y'all better be happy that we giving him that much credit. His completion percentage for 10 yards plus down the field, 34%. You got 2 of the best deep ball receivers in the goddamn league and one of the best athletic tight ends in the league, and you can't complete a ball past 10 yards. Let's talk about that pass that could have happened, that could have actually got you guys back in the game, changed the momentum for you guys when the goddamn Devontae Smith was wide ass open nobody within about 8 yards of his ass, and you overthrew his ass by 12 of them bitches. Let's talk about it, bro. Y'all say, oh, he's a Super Bowl MVP. He went to the Super Bowl. Blah, 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 Super Bowl. Super Bowl, Super Bowl. What we talking about when it comes to this man as a quarterback is completely different than what you guys are talking about. Because y'all talking about a team accomplishment, and we talking about what you doing for the team. What you doing for the team is being dragged the fuck along right now. They pushing your ass along, if you will. The fuck out my face with this bullshit. Top 10 quarterback, top 5 quarterback, my dick, nigga. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here, bro. I had to get that shit off because y'all not about to play with me, yo. I understand that Dallas as a team is not better than the Eagles as a team, but your quarterback is not a top 5 quarterback. Your quarterback is barely a top 10, top 15 quarterback this year. This year. I don't want nobody trying to clip this bullshit up. When you clip this bullshit up, make sure you put the part when I say this year. Because we're going to talk about it, right? If you want to talk about it, let's talk about it. This man averaging 177 yards a game in his 6 years as a professional football player. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want to hear shit about him having a different offensive coordinator. Dak had 5 different play callers in his career. He had 5 different times that he was the number 1 quarterback. He had the number 1 offense in the league. Fuck is you talking about? Fuck is you talking about? Like, stop playing, bro. You got your number 1 receiver out here ready to go. Devontae Smith just happy to get paid. Fuck is y'all talking about, nigga? Acting like you just because nigga won a Super Bowl makes him a top 5, top 10 quarterback. Well, why the fuck wasn't goddamn Trent Dilfer considered that then? Why the fuck wasn't Brad Johnson considered that then? Why the fuck wasn't Nick Foles considered that then? Fuck out my face. Fuck out my face. Y'all got me chopped, nigga. Y'all got me chopped, nigga. On some real shit. On some real shit. My team lost, so y'all think y'all was gonna get it what? The Cowboys lost too. No, nigga, y'all lost to the Giants, bro. And within the division, let's keep it a bean, bro. Let's keep it a bean. Y'all lost to a team, the worst team within our division. They smoked your ass. Fuck out of here, bro. Let's move on. Let's move on to our final subject of the day, which is Kansas City and goddamn the Lions last night on Sunday Night Football, which was kind of a look. It was a good game. It was a good game, but I just was expecting. I said on the Wake and Bake podcast. I ain't gonna front. I said on the Wake and Bake podcast that the Lions might have fucking blew the Chiefs out because I thought the Chiefs defense looked a lot worse last game than it ever did before. And I guess they got their shit together and was like, nah, we're not going to look that bad ever again. And they came out and they put belt the ass. And look, I think the final score is more deceiving than what the actual game was. It was a lot closer than what it seems. But I think I have to get, look, you got to give credit to the defensive game plan that the Chiefs had. They wasn't allowing Amon-Ra St. Brown to get busy at all in the middle of the field, or especially yards after the catch. They wasn't allowing that shit. They wasn't allowing Jameson to take the top off the defense. They played a nice little shell. They really made Jared Goff like, yo, here, you got to be precise with this ball. And he was pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't nothing great, but he wasn't bad. He was pretty decent. But it's like, yo, be precise with this shit. Matriculate the ball down the field, if you will, and shit like that. But they didn't have many explosive plays. I was surprised at how good the Chiefs was able to contain the run game between those 2 running backs that they have over there in Detroit, because both of those boys get busy. It was a play down the goal line that didn't count, but I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna see that shit all day this morning, where David Montgomery I think it was David Montgomery, and shit was Jared Goff was under center, and then he like shifts out of from under center and runs to like the receiver spot, and David Montgomery get the direct snap, and he throws like a little screen pass that Jared Goff bobbles and catches off his blocker's back. Basically, Amon-Ra St. Brown was in front of him blocking for him, and he was able to like catch the ball that ricocheted out off of his hands, off of Amon-Ra back, and then force his way into the end zone. Shit, they was at, like I said, like the 2-yard line or some shit. But it didn't count because they said that it was an illegal shift on Jared Goff end because he didn't take that step back off of the center. Like, so basically when you when you coming out of the center, like basically getting into the shotgun. You know what I'm saying? You gotta take at least one step backwards before you run to what you're gonna do or shift over. And to where as though he just came right from under center and ran towards to where he was going and started shifting. He didn't take that step back. And it's so funny because that shit means something in the NFL. And I know a lot of people are like, oh man, that shit really does. So he didn't do that, and it cost them that touchdown. But that was one of the little tricky plays. I remember watching that shit last night. I'm like, damn, Mel, I ain't see that shit out of Andy in this Chiefs offense. It felt like in a minute. And they did a couple of plays like that last night. I was like, okay, there we go. I feel like you guys are back. Having fun at least, because I feel like they were just being a little bit too serious. Because when it becomes strictly about championships, it's hard to have fun. Like ask Tom Brady and those Patriot teams, boy. When it comes strictly about championships, it's hard to have fun while you're doing it unless you're in the 90s and there's cocaine involved and shit. But I'm talking about as of recently, like it's hard to do that shit because it's too much you got to focus on. You can't really have fun until you get to that game and win that game and shit. You're like you more stressed than anything and shit. But Kansas City was able to come through and do their thing. Goddamn, Patty Mahomes, I think had 3 tutties and shit, over 250 yards, I believe. Marquise Brown or Hollywood Brown had 2 of them. And I was so funny because I was going to pick him up in my fantasy, but I was like, I already got 2 Chiefs. I don't want to have 3 of them because I had Xavier Worthy, and which also had the 3rd touchdown from Patrick Mahomes. And, of course, I got washed up Travis Kelce at my tight end. Auto draft by accident. I set the draft and missed the goddamn draft, boy. But that's neither here nor there. But, like I said, the winner of that motherfucker, though, will be getting this trophy, the Wake and Bake Podcast Fantasy Football Champion and shit. Y'all will be getting this trophy. It can be sent to you. You can get it in person. You know what I'm saying? We can record the transaction so you guys can see that if you do win our fantasy league, you do get the trophy and whatnot. But, yeah, this was a good game. Like I said, I think the final score kind of took away from that. We had a scrum that Juju Smith-Schuster looked crazy. Yo, that picture that's floating around, bro, that shit look wild with Juju. How he looking crazy on that ground, boy. I think it was Deion Branch or whatever his name is. Brian Branch, well, whoever it was, bro. Like, he looked like he was about to whoop Juju ass. You feel me? He looked like he was about to beat the shit out of Juju while he was down there on the ground. But Kansas City able to bounce back, get the 500 and shit back to 3-3. The Lions dropped the 2nd game of the year, which is okay. They 4-2 in the division that I believe that they will run away with. It was some dope games this week, though, guys. It was some dope ass. I know I only really talked about 3 or 4 games, but it was really some dope ass games this week in the NFL. And one of the games that surprisingly was really good, and you wouldn't have thought because Kyler Murray actually was out. I didn't even know he was out for that game. But it was Arizona and Indianapolis, bro. They was going at it. Like, shout out to Indiana Jones, man. Shout out to Sam Darnold too. I said on this weekend's podcast, on the Wake and Bake podcast, that I believe that Sam Darnold was actually pretty damn good. I just think that he had a bad shake of things being drafted to the New York Jets and shit. As you can see, the same thing's going on with Daniel Jones. Some of these quarterbacks actually is pretty damn good quarterbacks. They just got to be in better positions and shit. And some of these quarterbacks are benefiting from the positions that they're in. And that's okay and shit. But we got to give credit where credit is due and understand the difference between the quarterback that's making their team better and the quarterback that's just on a really good team. And that's all I got. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying, yo. Y'all making it seem like on the Jalen Hurts topic, right? Because I just want to do that shit. I think I'm done talking about this shit for real. But on the Jalen Hurts topic, matter of fact, we're gonna go back to the screen. On the Jalen Hurts topic and shit, I actually like Jalen Hurts, bro. I just think that not only that his offensive play callers, coordinators, and head coach has let him down or be letting him down by trying to hinder how much he's capable of doing. Let that motherfucker do what he gotta do, and let's see him flourish. I think that he's capable of doing a lot of the shit that we say that he can't do. They just don't ask him to do it, so he don't do it, in my opinion. Like, in my opinion, and if that's the case, sometimes take it upon yourself to do it. They said in that Broncos game when he threw that wheel route to Saquon Barkley that wasn't in the playbook, which is wild. How you not have a wheel route when you have Saquon Barkley on your team in your playbook? That's crazy and shit. But if you have these issues, if you know what I'm saying, you have the lack of experience in play calling at your offensive coordinator position, Sirianni, this is where you come in as a head coach. If you don't want to fire your coordinator, then at least take over the play calling. At least take over the play calling. Maybe you can call a better game than that motherfucker with the same type of offense that you guys have. And that could just be the issue. But hell, I'm a Cowboy fan. So I want you guys to keep doing what you're doing on the offensive end. Don't change shit. Don't change not a damn thing. You're doing a great job, in my opinion. But as a football fan, I'm going to have to figure some shit out, man, when it comes to that play calling, when it comes to that shit over there, for real, yo. But honestly, yo, I'm about to get up out of here, man. I think I had my rant one more time before we go with this.
Boo this man!
Boo that motherfucker, bro. Boo that motherfucker one more time. Boo that motherfucker one more time, and then we gone. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate everybody that came through. If you you know what I'm saying, saw the video, like, comment, share, like, all that good shit. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you guys. I'll catch you guys later. I'll catch you guys on the next show. Make sure you turn into the Wake and Bake podcast every Saturday, 9 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, shit, everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere you can find a podcast, you can find it there. Man, I appreciate all the love and support, man. One more time before we go.
Boo this man!
Peace and love, man. I'm gonna catch you guys. Friday, my friends. We go.